scared. Yeah. Things that go bump in the night. Me. Sam B. Shrunken head, broken legs, body parts on the concrete. Cut 'em up, butcher style gators in the swamp. Red light, leave 'em dead, running like a track meet. Scared of nobody, what your motherfuckers want. Believe me when I tell 'em I'm a boogeyman beast. Leave 'em slashed from their head to their feet. Pin bricks to the chest of a bitch, well-fed, cooking meat, cannibal trying to eat. I got a zombie army, and you can't harm me. Yeah, hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Drink blood like a vampire without warning. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Stand up. Sam B got the thing that go bump in the night. Whoa, hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Hide your kids, grab your wife, better get out of sight. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Let's go. Sam B the Papa Shango, I'm bearing some Eddie. Handful of fingertips, toss them up like confetti. Stable of corpse bitches, I'm a pimp of the dead. Come fuck with a zombie, I put a stake in your head. Look, you want ghouls, I got fucking platoon. Maybe everybody dies, I'm see your ass real soon. Crack bones to the marrow, hot sauce and they suck it. Now my juju ain't nothing to fuck with. I got a zombie army, and you can't harm me. Yeah, hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Drink blood like a vampire without warning. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Stand up. Sam B got the thing that go bump in the night. Whoa, hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Hide your kids, grab your wife, better get out of sight. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Let's go. Cut your head off, you leave your motherfuckers dead. I got a zombie army, and you can't harm me. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Drink blood like a vampire without warning. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Sam B got the thing that go bump in the night. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Hide your kids, grab your wife, better get out of sight. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch.
Hello, everyone. I didn't want to leave you all with a bunch of pre-stream music, but it is another wonderful Manic Monday. I hope you all are doing well. I know I'm doing well. We have a little bit of a lineup here tonight. I love that sound so much. When I will hear it one more time. You better fucking believe it. So, um, good old Shanny and Rev are back on their bogus shit again. So this ought to be really fun with what we're going to cover. The first topic of tonight is covering good old Jason's recent video, which is him going on about the new apparently Trump did a new executive order regarding homelessness, and you know, Shanny and Jason, being Shanny and Jason, have somehow tied this into this being the end times or some shit, where uh, much like what happened back during 2001, whenever 9/11 originally happened, there was this big conspiracy going on behind George Bush and his administration, where apparently at some point, shortly after 9/11 happened, George W. Bush supposedly had a secret meeting with someone, something, some group. It varies depending on which theory you decide to delve into. The theory that I personally heard was he waited until there was something similar to what happened back during, I think it was the Vietnam War, whenever the Vietnam conflict happened, and the reason that happened was after the Gulf of Tonkin incident, there was a meeting that took place around Christmas time where there was only a handful of congressmen left, and they all uh, colluded and agreed to start the Vietnam conflict. Well, something similar like that supposedly happened whenever George Bush was in office. And at some point after 9/11, this group of handful of people all voted and passed into a secret law that somehow was so secret that people were able to get their hands on it and start passing it around in the conspiracy theory realm, that George W. Bush from that point on was supposed to be like emperor of uh, emperor of the United States forever or something like that. And of course, that obviously proved to be wrong because, well, we don't hear about George W. Bush anymore. As a matter of fact, I don't hear about him until uh, the last time that I heard about him was around the anniversary of 9/11, whenever they just brought up he was in office and it was during his administration. And any other time I hear about him, kind of awkwardly, is whenever I go across any of the presidential AI videos that people make and they have George Bush be there. So I don't really hear about the guy. Um, but with that in mind, keeping with conspiracy theories, uh, somehow Jason believes or thinks that this is all in line with what Trump wants to do, and before you know it, everybody and their mother are going to be rounded up in the camps and killed, because obviously the comparisons, as absolutely infuriatingly insulting it is to any survivor of the Holocaust, they constantly like to continue to refer to Trump as Hitler. So, isn't that wonderful? But we get to hear Jason himself talking about this dumb shit. So, let's go ahead and get started again. Wonderful shout out to Graveyard Flowers for this. Oh, I didn't save that. There we go. There we go. That way everybody knows what we're watching and what we're covering. And the video after this one is going to be very special. And I will explain why when we get there. Oh yeah, and I sped up this video even though it's already sped up because you can only listen to these guys at like a somewhat normal-ish speed for so long.
Hey guys, what's up? So I ain't gonna do a Revelation news video tonight at all.
Oh, isn't that just fucking depressing? We don't get to hear wonderful Rev talk about the same shit that he's going to talk about in this video, just, you know, in a long drawn out thing where he puts on makeup and pretends he's a cute girl. Isn't that sad that we get to miss out on that dumb shit?
Trump put through the executive order to make homelessness illegal.
That is not what the executive order says, and I actually decided to do what I do best and fact check this shit as it's being told. So, it is not making homelessness illegal. So instead, and what it does is it is creating a shift in federal policy on homelessness. So it's not making it illegal for you to be homeless. What it is making is it is essentially making those who are homeless who need things like rehabilitation, because a lot of our homeless are drug addicts, and a lot of our homeless, unfortunately, because of the fact that they outweigh their addiction with everything else and don't get help, and they stay that way because of the fact that they're not getting help. This new executive order makes it to where if you are homeless and you are questioned on this and they figure out that you are homeless because of lack of rehabilitation, because you could get over these particular addictions, then what that does is it makes it to where you, instead of just being arrested for something as dumb as like vagrancy, which used to be a hella big law back in the 80s, it makes it to where if you need a rehabilitation, you essentially get the needed attention that you deserve to get over that addiction. And just to make this clear, this doesn't make anything illegal. The executive order makes it, all it does is put federal funding incentives on cities and states to try to ban things like urban camping, squatting, and loitering. It doesn't make it to where you being homeless is a crime. So, encourages civil commitment to institutionalization of individuals with mental illness who are homeless, especially if they're deemed a risk to themselves or others, that sort of thing. So, it's not a law. It's just a incentive with federal funding behind it to try to get those who are homeless, who need help, to get help. But what we're about to find out from wonderful Jason here is there's a whole different plan brewing.
He did it. So the goal is going to be illegal to be homeless. The motivation of this is to round up people in mass and call them to eliminate them. You have places like Alligator.
I'm also going to look this up too, because he says alligator Alcatraz so many times. Okay. It's a South Florida detention facility. It's a nickname to that. Referring both its remote Everglades location and its perceived harshness akin to infamous Alcatraz prison, built on the former Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport in Big Cypress National Preserve, near, what kind of name is that? Near Ochapi, whatever, Florida. Okay, intended on a central hub for migrant detention and deportation operations. Okay, so it's one of the deportation things that's ran by the Florida Division of Emergency Management and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. All right. So now I know what that is. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm gonna have to back up to hear what he said again, just so I have it fresh on the mind.
Round up people in mass and cull them to eliminate them.
So here's the thing that a lot of conspiracy theorists are fucking hooked on, and this is one of the reasons why I no longer subscribe to a lot of the conspiracy theory stuff. So, very brief history on me is back whenever I was in my mid to late teens. I would say it started around like about 15, all the way up until I was roughly 20. I had a very conspiracy theory laden mindset where anything that happened anywhere in the world, I couldn't look at it for what it was. I immediately thought that there was something deeper and bigger going on, despite essentially what was going on in front of me, what was being delivered to me from every source that I could look up, even those that were quote unquote had the real story. A lot of these conspiracy theory sites. I just couldn't agree with it. And very much like Jason, I would, if I was still in that mindset, I would probably kind of agree with what he's saying. But here's the problem. The main thing that took me out of the conspiracy theory thing was back whenever Alex Jones, whom as a journalist has a respectable position. But other than that, there's not really much to the guy. But Alex Jones back in the day, whenever the Sandy Hook shooting happened, started passing around the idea that no children died, no children were shot, there was no shooter, and that the people that you saw online and in those interviews on the news and whatnot were all paid actors, and that all of the kids who were supposedly killed and affected were either just didn't exist, their actual names and bodies and everything else just was imaginary, or the other story is that they were essentially all rounded up, given different names, and shipped off somewhere else, just essentially like a giant witness protection thing, but without it being witness protection. Essentially something that like the mob would force you to do if you needed to go away for a while and lay low somewhere. So after that happened, I no longer could fully subscribe to the whole conspiracy theory thing, and honestly, that made me go back and look at all the other things that I vehemently believed in that conspiracy theory mind. And for the most part, I came out of it not with that mindset anymore. I just couldn't agree with the leader of the conspiracy theory mind, Alex Jones, at that point. And he was one of the few people that I looked to for the news, what was really going on. So if that guy was wrong and I couldn't agree with it, then I needed to make sure that all the other stuff that I was thinking was right. was, completely correct to my own liking. Turns out a lot of it wasn't. And since then, encountering and continuing to encounter this mindset that Rev and especially Shanny share, whenever I hear this shit, I just kind of shake my head and go, that was me once. But anyways, the idea that these people are being rounded up and killed is very heavy in the conspiracy theory realm and world of thinking. A lot of them 100% believe without a shadow of a doubt that there's some kind of like death cult thing going on. And it's, if nothing else, it's just depressing to hear, because all that does is continue to fuel your own paranoia. And it also is just asinine after a while, because what you're about to hear, once again, like I said, is Trump once more being compared to Hitler. And the thing that pisses me off the most about that is it's just an insult to every survivor of the Holocaust who's still around, because they would tell you exactly what the absolute grueling menaces were and absolute pure evil it was to experience a time under Adolf Hitler himself. And then you try to compare Trump saying something along the lines of, we need to make sure that the people are here through legal means. Suddenly that turns into he's a fascist dictator, which is not what that is. And unfortunately, the people on the far, far left have continued to show and prove through things like Antifa, for example, that their definition of fascism matches exactly what they are. And it wouldn't be so sad if it wasn't so funny, I guess. It's sadly hilarious that they are just so badly ironic with, you're a fascist, you don't have the same views as I do, die. That's literally the way that they not only think, but as we've seen multiple times now, also act. Let's continue.
You have places like Alligator Alcatraz and the Speedway prison camp. And there's apparently 5 other ones that are, if not activated now, which I would think they probably are. There's just nobody really talking about it. When they do activate and they get this whole plan ready to come into fruition, the goal is to eliminate as many people as possible.
If the goal of any government was to eliminate as many people as possible, in our current landscape, there is no way that wouldn't just be out in the open. If we want to continue to make this comparison of all these dictators and somehow our own government being that way today, whenever Stalin and Pol Pot and Mussolini and Hitler wanted to gather people up and kill them, they didn't go behind closed doors, have meetings with people in shaded meeting rooms where the only thing that you can see is the shape of somebody and there's no detail, and they all talk in low, discombobulated voices and talk about how they need to change the world. We need to get rid of these people. Like, it wouldn't be happening that way. If it was really happening as bad as he is claiming that it is, it would be done out in the open. It would be in every single speech that he ever has, and it wouldn't be talking about our borders and illegal aliens. It would literally be, all right, we need to gather up the poor. We need to kill all of them. If we get rid of the poor, that'll make us a better country. That's exactly what we would be hearing, and we don't. We haven't been hearing that. Basically, what it's boiled down to is that there is so much rhetoric and dogma going on in all of the mainstream left that even I, who had considered myself left leaning for the longest time, am having a very, very hard time continuing to do so, because everything that they have been doing and that they've been saying, especially this year and the moment that Trump was elected again, like, we can't even really go through the first term, because the first term, not really much happened other than, him doing what he's already doing now, which was he was putting an end to wars, making sure wars didn't happen. He was given the first stimulus checks out, and then, of course, the stimulus continued through Biden for a little while there. And then after he gets back into office, and one of the first things that he wants to do is make it to where, you have to you have to legally identify as male or female. Like, that's the only thing that can be on your birth certificate. And then everybody freaked out, which is weird to me, because for the most part, if you are if you're male transitioning to female or vice versa, you're just wanting to identify as the other gender, which can be changed to match your birth certificate. So I'm not, like, there's a whole legal process of where you can do that. So I'm not sure why that's an issue. I think it's just because it ends up coming down to the laziest people want to remain that way. They don't want to go through the whole process of changing everything legally. They just want to look at you and be like, you got to call me they, them, she, her, zim, zob, zoobity bop. And if you don't do that, then, back whenever it was even an even bigger thing, they wanted to make it to where if you didn't do that it was considered a hate crime, or it was considered hate speech, or there was even a couple of times that I had seen on, I don't know if it was NBC or if it was CNN. It was one of the two. But there was someone who constantly was campaigning that if you even think that someone is the opposite pronoun of what they actually identify with, then you should be put in jail. So being put in jail for literal thought crime. Let's move on, though.
Because the wealth is caving. The system we are still in a government shutdown. Yeah. So we're in a time that is perfect, ripe for a massive terror attack, followed by, we have to have martial law to get order restored.
So what we're claiming right now, from Jason's point of view, is because there's a government shutdown and everybody's worried about federal funding and food stamps and all that, that right now the time is perfect. The timing is ripe for essentially a different kind of 9/11. But instead of it being one where it is a foreign body attacking the United States, it's going to be something that happens here in the middle of the United States, and then order has to be restored. And once again, this also comes from their constant paranoia of all of the National Guard being sent out to stop people from fucking rioting and looting. Like, somehow they believe that being able to riot and loot is a is a God-given right, when there's a difference between rioting and looting and protesting. If you want to sit out in the middle of a park or whatever, or chain yourself to something and say, hell no, I won't go until you lower the price of milk or whatever the fuck, that's fine. That's the perfect kind of gathering and peaceful protest that you can do, as long as you're not disrupting anything, breaking any laws, that sort of stuff. have at it. Practice that freedom to assemble, protest, and free speech. Hell yeah, do that. But then you got people who are in like Portland, for example, that were quite literally looting stores and breaking out people's windows and destroying cars and various forms of vandalism like that. And they're like, oh, well, this is just my right to protest. No, it's not. That's not what that covers. But let's see if he gets into an example of what he's talking about, this supposed false flag operation that's going to happen.
That would be the time that I would guess that they would activate this plan. And they're using law enforcement, folks. California's homeless population is extremely extensive homeless population because, of course, it's
the homeless population here in Oregon is pretty bad too. Mentioning Portland again, you can't go down any street in Portland, especially not in like downtown Portland, without seeing homeless. So
extremely expensive to live in California, and you could be making $500,000 a year. That's nothing there. So you have people that had careers where they were making more than most of us, and it don't matter because it's the cost of living has gone so insane that it's game over. There's lawyers that are just losing their shit and they're living in their cars.
Lawyers that are losing their shit and living in their cars. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if he's right. Their cars due to, what would you say, due to the economy? Say high cost of living and housing crisis. Not widespread. This reflects a broader trend affecting even middle class professionals. Our professionals like lawyers living out of their cars. Housing costs for some of the highest housing prices in the U.S. The average house exceeds $788,000. Jesus. And rents have surged nearly 15% in a single year. Student debt. Many lawyers carry significant law school debt, which can exceed $100,000, making it harder to afford housing even with a decent income. Well, that goes with any sort of debt, to be honest, whenever it comes to schooling. Damn, most college students and the student loans that they owe, they literally don't get to pay that shit off until they're in their 80s or 90s, and that's if they're lucky. So I understand that. Economic pressures, inflation, stagnant wages, and rising costs of essentials like food and gas have pushed some professionals into alternate living arrangements. Okay. So that is seemingly true. Good that at least we got some truth somewhere in this video.
So California is like sort of where this is sparking. It's going to spark off, it looks like. And the police are literally just taking homeless off the street and putting them in jail. Okay, you think that they're going to a normal jail? No, I don't think so. They're being taken to prison camps, and it's likely that these people.
I just noticed something. This is kind of a side note from the actual video here, but I understand now why Jason keeps a bit of the Billy Goat goatee going on his chin. He's got a cleft chin like a motherfucker. Like that thing literally looks like a Peter Griffin style set of testicles whenever he looks the right way. So I understand why he keeps the chin hair. You need to grow that back, dude.
By and large part, they don't have people in their life. They see people that they walk by that are and they might give them a buck or two to help them out. But they're not. They're the outcasts of society. So, I just guess the person working at the convenience store that knows the homeless person. They just stop seeing them come around. Oh, well, maybe they got on their feet. That's good. No, they got taken away by Gestapo that says poor people no longer have a right to exist in the.
Once again, with this reference back, and that's the main thing, once again, that I will repeat over and over again until I'm blue in the mouth and falling on the ground and can't breathe, I guess, is that it's insanely insulting to actual survivors of World War II, and especially during the Holocaust and Holocaust survivors. You constantly just use these fucking terms and you constantly use these terms and references, and they end up losing their meaning because what you're trying to refer to in the comparison that you're doing doesn't line up. So it all loses its meaning, which is what we shouldn't do. That sort of thing should maintain its meaning forever and ever just because of how fucking bad it was. But no, we can't do that because Cheeto president is still president. And because of the fact that everybody on the left doesn't like what he's doing, no matter how good or bad it is, we have to continue referring to him as one of the most evil people provable in our history. It's sickening, dude.
Country because you don't have property, or you can't afford any rent because all the rents are too high and food is too expensive. So they just go, oh, well, they must have got back on their feet. Yeah, no, they're in a ditch in the back of Alligator Alcatraz.
Let me ask a question exactly, and I think this is just a logistics question. If you're taken off the streets in California, why the fuck would you end up in a prison camp all the way in Alligator Alcatraz? Why would they pay to ship you from California all the way across the fucking all the way across the entire United States just to put you in a camp? That camp in particular, I guess. I know he mentioned that there's like 5 other camps that are supposedly activated if they haven't been already, or about to be activated if they haven't been already, and I'm pretty sure because of how conspiracy theories work and how conspiracy-minded people think, it's definitely a lot closer than that. But just logistically, with that particular example, why would they do that? It seems like a waste of gas at that point, because if gas is so expensive, why would you waste the gas to ship them all the way from, just a minor pet peeve, I guess.
I want to give a shout out to a brother out there, though. His name is, I guess, We Are the Chosen Ministries. I'm pretty sure that's his name. I give a shout out to him because he corrected me. The fact is that we have to be praying for the leadership of the country. And every time I feel that in my spirit, I want to vomit. But he's right. God can override.
And you know why you feel like you're going to vomit is because of the fact that the thing with you and Shanny, and this has been proven time and time again, is that you and Shanny absolutely hate authority of any display, whether it be law enforcement, a politician, a person in the military, anybody who you would normally give respect to because of their position. You all fucking hate them. Like 100% just fucking hate them. And that makes no sense to me if you all are going to continue to call yourselves Christians. Because even in your Bible, it mentions that you are to respect the law of the land. You are to respect authorities and power. You're to respect those, because by respecting them, it shows that you respect God, because he's the all authority. So I don't understand how you can even claim to be Christian whenever you continuously prove that you hate being Christian. It's kind of, it is kind of ironic, isn't it? That would be the proper definition of irony. Someone who claims to be Christian but hates, but repeatedly hates and shows that they hate being Christian.
Everything. In an hour, God can destroy what their plans that they've had for hundreds of years. God can destroy in an hour. They've been building.
Actually, that's not accurate. If we're looking at the actual definition of power that God has, he would be able to destroy all that in an instant. Wouldn't take him an hour.
Up to this authoritarian takeover of America since its beginning, really. Okay? The fucking Illuminati, that's what they called themselves in the old days. They wanted to usurp the American government through the Mason lodges and put their guy in the presidency every time.
So this is funny that you bring that up and you like continuously hate on Alex Jones. And you always bring up how you hate Alex Jones, and Alex Jones isn't a journalist, and you don't like him, and you don't like InfoWars and all that. Yet you'll use the same shit that Alex Jones has been preaching for years. He's been preaching well over 2-3 decades now. Been preaching the same shit, but you will gladly use his talking points whenever it suits you and serves your message, but you won't give the guy credit outside of that. That's really strange.
That's like the Masons.
So now that he's talking about the Masons and the Illuminati, if you asked Alex Jones, they're the same people. The Freemasons and the Illuminati work together. They're all within the same sphere of influence, and they all do the same thing. And I do believe he's about to bring up how the Illuminati is not the Illuminati anymore. Now they just call themselves the Brotherhood or whatever. It really brings back it really brings back memories of the Bane comics. If you have any sort of interest in old Star Wars, the Bane comics are like one of the best places to go, because in the Bane novels, the Sith are starting to become a little bit more widespread. They're growing in number, but instead of giving themselves titles that apply rank, they are instead just called the Brotherhood. And I do believe at some point they call themselves they have like 3 different titles in the comics, or 3 different titles in the novels, which is they're the Brotherhood of the Sith, and then the Dark Brotherhood. And Bane basically destroys that because he implements the rule of 2 again and starts going by Darth, which is supposed to be a sign and title of power within the whole Sith hierarchy. But yeah, it's kind of funny that he's about to mention that the Illuminati is now the Brotherhood.
But it's true.
They're all
the Illuminati, quote unquote, the Bavarian Illuminati, which existed for only a year, because Weishaupt was such a disgusting, degenerate scum that Masons rejected him. Okay, he wanted to become the top of Masonry, but that was never going to happen because the majority of Masons were not dark-sided. Do you get that? There was still light in America.
Do you get that? Do you get that? That, you know what? That's not your best catchphrase. Your best catchphrase is this wonderful little thing right here. That's what you should be saying. Like, every single time that you want to say you get that, you should instead say, "You better fucking believe it."
America, and even secret societies, there was light. The fact of the matter is that they came back. That group came back, but they didn't use the name Illuminati. They just called themselves the Brotherhood. And the majority of Masonry is Brotherhood now. There's no doubt about that. They're dark-sided, and they're the kings of the earth. Okay? That's why Revelation is playing out, because their final endgame stuff it's here now. The endgame state that they wanted, they feel like they're going to get soon, because the whole world is in this spiral of chaos because of Captain Chaos, Trump. He's a true Joker president in the sense that he'll look at you and go, I could give you all of this, Gotham. You know, Joker points to the money stack in the back, and he's like, I could give you all of this, Gotham. It could be all of yours for free if you just make me your mayor, right?
I don't think that that's ever been Trump's like actual platform. is that he's just going to give people free money. That's never happened. So I'm not entirely sure where this comparison comes in. I think it's just trying to compare him to the Joker for whatever reason.
Right?
Which is funny because you now have an account called ReVJoker, and you have stated in the past that you want to do cosplay as the Joker and shit. So,
Money, money, money. Who do you trust? You remember the first Batman movie with Jack Nicholson? He's on the float and he's just tossing money out to people.
yeah, but the problem with that is, in that comparison, the money that he was tossing out to everybody was counterfeit money, and it had his picture on it, which literally means that, you know, it was worthless. He was just gathering everybody up so he could do a fucking mass. He could do the mass Joker gas on Gotham. So I don't know. Whenever he starts going into the comparisons and shit, and then you line them up with what he's talking about, it seems to just fucking go cattywampus all the time.
You trust me because I'll take a fistful of hundreds and toss it at you. Sure. Trump is like that.
He's never been like that. I don't know what you're talking about. When anywhere in anything that he said is he just wadded up a big bunch of money and been like, yeah, this will be yours if you make me president. That's never happened. The only thing that he said as far as money is concerned is that he was going to bring jobs back to America. He was going to raise tariffs so that way the actual American businesses and American products that we have would start gaining traction, so we would actually start having more of a deficit instead of a debt whenever it came to what we owed everyone, and we would be making our own money. Unless that is what you're trying to compare it to, but I mean, if that's the case, then he has done that, so it's not really, the Joker comparison doesn't fit.
But in his heart, he wants just pure chaos.
In his heart, he wants pure chaos. Once again, you're showing how anti-Christian you actually are by saying that shit. Judge not someone else. Judge not someone else's heart, lest your heart be judged. And that's exactly what the fuck you're doing. You don't know what anybody wants in their heart, and the fact that you're trying to pretend that you know shows that you don't even believe in your own fucking book that you claim to read or have read.
And it looks like he's getting that. He puts through this is such a huge fucking thing. And the mainstream media will go, well, that's just Trump being Trump. He just made homelessness illegal with an executive order. This is exactly what the elites want. Trump is their guy. Do you get that? He wants to cull the poor. He wants the United States for the rich and influential white man, and everybody else is either in a camp or working for the system, which is the 9-to-5 grind bullshit where you never get ahead, and you never will get ahead. That's the two-class system they want. Two classes. Rich and poor. Influencers and scum, cogs in the wheel that are replaceable by death.
You're fucking, I'm sorry, I can't finish this video after that. You're fucking stupid. I don't know if you're like willingly dumb or if you're just not caught up. I don't know which one it is. But let me give you some words of wisdom coming from your own book. This is Samuel 16:7. But the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart. Here's another one. Matthew 7:1, do not judge or you too will be judged. You fucking judge people all the time. You and Shanny do the same fucking thing, and it infuriates me on a whole different level. Because I don't consider myself a Christian. I don't consider myself religious in really any way. I'm more a pantheist these days. It doesn't really matter to me whether God exists or not, because we're suffering and surviving the way that we are. but it's the fact that you all consider yourselves to be fucking higher than everyone else. And you all constantly use this shit. The last thing I'll leave you in particular with, Rev, is this. It's from James 4:12. There is only one lawgiver and judge. Who are you to judge your neighbor? So, piss off. Absolutely piss off, Jason. So we're moving on to this particular video. And this one is very interesting. Because in my last stream, I had gone over things like NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, and and the interesting thing about me going over that and essentially explaining how Shanny herself is a narcissist, and she displays so much of NPD that it's kind of funny to me that she makes this particular video, and just like the last one, this is going to be sped up even more because I have to I have to, because I wouldn't be able to stand listening to her for the full entirety of the 21 minutes this video is.
I can't see you.
Just by looking at this, you can tell that she literally just got up, like she just rolled, because she claims that she can't walk. So she just literally rolled over, grabbed the nearest shirt that she had, because both Shanny and Jason will say that she normally doesn't wear shirts if she's not going to actually be on video, or she's not expecting anybody to like be around or whatever. So she just reached over, grabbed the closest shirt to her. I'm pretty sure she sniffed it a few times to make sure it didn't completely smell like garbage, despite the fact that, they live in it. And now she has to fully adjust, and it's gross. So I apologize for the first few seconds of this.
All right.
Yeah, let's go, Shanny.
I've noticed a few things about narcissists. When you go deeper,
narcissists? A few things about narcissists? What have you noticed about narcissists?
And to the things you've gone through, because a narcissist, that's when they go harder.
Okay.
That's when they start with more of their attacks, more of their hate.
I don't think that you and Jason really put two and two together to figure out that people who troll you and criticize you aren't all somehow narcissists at the same time. Also, there's going to be another term that she uses in this video that annoys the shit out of me, and whenever she says it, I'll bring it up, because it's not how she's using it is not what it is. Much like most of their videos.
It's very hard when you have a whole group of narcissists going after you. I've been targetly harassed for over a decade now by people.
Targetly harassed over a decade. You haven't been targetly harassed over a decade. You've had people criticize you for over a decade because you consistently and constantly put up your personal life on YouTube and on the internet. And then you have people criticizing what you put up, and then because you don't like the criticism, therefore it's harassment. Harassment would be something that you can't avoid. Harassment is akin to going to a job and somebody at that job constantly flicking your ear. Like, of course, that would go into a different realm of assault, but just for the sake of argument, that's what harassment would be, is that you walk into a job and every hour of that job, the same person comes over and is just flicking you on the ear. That would be harassment. Or if we want to stay consistent, that would be about like just, you being at an office cubicle and every time the guy across from you gets up to go use the bathroom, he leans in and goes, "You're a piece of shit." And that's all. And every time he comes by, "You're a piece of shit." Like, that would be harassment because you can't avoid it. Whenever stuff happens to you online, you can avoid that just by blocking what it is, just staying away from where it is that you're being quote unquote harassed. That would be that. What's going on with you for over a decade is not considered harassment. So, first and foremost,
They recruited family members to attack me. They've recruited friends
once more, all roads lead back to William.
To attack me. They recruit pretty much anyone to attack you. They will use bribery to pay family members to have these interviews.
And once again, all roads lead back to William.
The whole time they're being gaslighted, trying to be picked into and into things.
Do you even know what gaslighting means? Like, I know you can do gaslighting, so I think you must have like some sort of something to know what gaslighting is, but I think it just ends up being one of those terms that they think that if they use, they automatically win. Like fascist, they think that if they just call someone a fascist, they automatically win. Call someone a narcissist, they automatically win. It's one of those what I'm going to call from now on a cheat code word, where if I use this word, I'll just automatically win, an insta win. Oh yeah, well, you're a fascist. You win appears above their fucking head.
This is something that I've noticed with these target harassers, these people who like to find someone and pick on them over and over again.
Target harassers. You're a targeted individual, which is a gang stalker term. And I know that you all already try to claim that you've been gang stalked, which is another level of insanity that I'm not going to go into right now. But with any definition of gang stalking, you two would not even reach that. So
the thing is when they recruit family members to attack you, that hurts.
Sure,
like thousands of daggers. It's a betrayal. And they'll use excuses like you've been abusive to them, you did this, you did this, you did this.
You were abusive to them, and that's the reason why you immediately move away from it to not go into it, because you were starting to self-report. Because if you actually started using definitions of what the abuse was, you would be telling on yourself. And just for the record, she's going to claim for the rest of this video that it's narcissists that are doing this, when in actuality she is proving once again, much like I had said before, she's proving that she is a narcissist.
Okay, you claim I'm all these things, but if I was abusive, wicked, evil, cruel, then why are you coming after someone who's evil and abusive?
Because people who are evil and abusive need to be called out. It's not a brain teaser. It's not a difficult question. That's pretty simple.
It makes no sense. No logical sense to go after someone who's evil and abusive.
No logical sense to go after someone who's evil and abusive. So no logical sense to no logical sense to go after someone who's evil and abusive whenever going after someone who's evil and abusive makes them actually have to face responsibility for what they've done. So in other words, you don't want to face responsibility or accountability for what you've done. Okay.
Because you could get into the firing line too.
Yeah, but if you're strong enough to handle it, you're not really in the firing line.
So they'll even call you
Here's the thing, and she's about to say that they'll even call you a narcissist whenever you're not one, but she is. Whenever it comes to being abusive, people who have power over other people are usually the ones who are abusive, whether that be emotionally familial, in that familial relationship, or mentally, or financially, or physically. And usually, if you can't be physically abusive to someone, the other avenues of abuse that I just mentioned, emotional, mental, financial, is the ways that they go. So you claim that it doesn't make logical sense for someone to go after somebody who is evil and abusive because they might get in the firing line. Well, here's the thing. If you don't have any power over that person, you can't abuse them. So at that point, you are just shown for who you really are. And that is the whole point of going after you, is showing everybody who you are. So that way, the consequences of your actions finally find their way to you. Even though I think that they already are on their way, it just helps with the process. And it helps let everybody know who might encounter you in the future that this is exactly the kind of person that you are.
Your line too. So they'll even call you a narcissist, even though you're not.
And here's something interesting. Like I said in the last stream that I talked about Shanny here, I brought up how she claims to have BPD, or has claimed to be diagnosed with BPD. I don't know how true that is. Outside of their words, I don't know what they have been diagnosed with, but I can say that given that they are notorious pathological liars, anything that they bring up that they have supposedly been diagnosed with, I can't really trust. So there's that. Secondly, she brings up she's going to bring up a narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, and right now she's going into how these narcissists will say that you're a narcissist, and somehow that's using like reverse psychology or something. She'll start going into almost word for word what I went into in my stream, where I talked about how she is NPD, and I went over the symptoms and whatnot of NPD and how it matches her. I think this is where she gets into, and it's kind of interesting, which lets me know that either Shanny, Jason, or both of them end up finding these streams, and they do watch them. So good to know I got some quote unquote fans out there.
I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. It is a emotional dysregulation disorder that is caused by earlyhood childhood trauma. Mine was caused by extensive abuse and invalidation from my parents. And it went into adulthood, the abuse. So in a lot of ways, I normalized abuse. I became blind to the red flags. And it's a very hard way how to live when that's all you know about human interaction. What also comes with my abuse comes extreme isolation. I've always been isolated, so I never got to see the...
Okay. So she claims that she has been diagnosed with BPD, borderline personality disorder. So, for everyone's brevity, BPD is a serious mental health condition marked by intense emotional instability, impulse behavior, and unstable relationships. It affects how a person thinks and feels about themselves and others, often leading to significant challenges in daily life. Okay? Okay. The core symptoms of BPD is fear of abandonment. Well, I don't know if she has a fear of abandonment. I can say that anytime that Jason has threatened to kick her ass out and not pay for her stuff anymore, that she immediately gets that over-exaggerated, like almost like you get the crying baby filter on like Snapchat. She starts to get that face. So I definitely know that at least some of that is... I don't think it's a fear of abandonment. I think it's just a fear. In that case, I think it's just a fear that she won't be financially fucking paid for anymore. Unstable relationships, swinging between idolization and devaluation of others. Well, I think that's definitely true. Distorted self-image. Not entirely sure on that one. I know that she constantly sees herself much higher than others. So I'm not entirely sure that's necessarily BPD, but we'll get there. Impulsive behaviors such as reckless spending, unsafe sex, substance abuse, or binge eating. Well, do I need to go into that? Do we need to swing that low? That seems like the lowest hanging fruit. We'll just move on. Emotionally volatile, mood swings that last for hours or a few days. Yeah, I would think, kinda. Chronic feelings of emptiness or boredom. No. Inappropriate or intense anger, sometimes leading to physical altercations or verbal outbursts. I think she gets intensely angry definitely gets intensely angry for some of the wrong reasons, but it's like usually money. It's usually money that does that. Paranoia or disassociation. She definitely has paranoia, that's for sure. And self-harming behaviors, which she doesn't have. Unless you want to consider her binge eating as a self-harm. So, right now, we could say that looking at the causes and symptoms, that she might have that. Now, let's compare that to NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. So, NPD is a mental health condition characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance. That's definitely her. A deep need for admiration. She has that. She constantly wants to be put on a pedestal by the people that view her, and by basically anyone else. If Jason doesn't put her on a pedestal as much as he does, I think that they would be having far more volatile fights. And a lack of empathy for others. Yeah, she has no real empathy for anyone else. All of her empathy is when it benefits her cause at the time. So let's see the symptoms of NPD. We have grandiose sense of self-importance. Oh yeah, she has that without a doubt. Preoccupation with fantasies such as success, power, beauty, or ideal love. She constantly has this thing where she thinks that she's like the most beautiful woman on the planet, and I know that that's kind of fueled by what Jason says, but obviously they're in a relationship, so why wouldn't he tell her that? But even outside of that, even whenever she wasn't with Jason, she constantly would put on makeup and accentuate herself and try to act like that she's like this Marilyn Monroe-esque gorgeous person whenever she's not. A belief in uniqueness, feeling only understood by or worthy of association with other special people. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can also see that whenever she talks about how she's went through like MK Ultra fucking brainwashing and all this shit. It's definitely a belief in uniqueness. Need for excessive admiration. Oh yeah. She has a constant craving for praise and validation. If you don't do that with Shanny on any of her fucking streams, she will just quit the stream. Or not quit the stream. She'll just close the chat. She won't even just look at it, because if she's not getting that constant admiration and praise and validation, she doesn't care. Sense of entitlement, expecting favorable treatment and compliance from others. Oh yeah, well, no doubt, no doubt. Watch any stream, like you're going to see it in this video. You'll see it in this video. Exploitation of others. Yeah, no doubt. Exploitation of others. Look at the entirety of her relationship with Jason. Look at her friendship with G-Man. How quick that fell apart. Look at any of the other people who make videos on her now. I know Carrie, the bored housewife. She used to be one of her friends and isn't anymore, for very obvious reasons. lack of empathy, difficulty recognizing or caring about others' feelings. The only feelings that Shanny cares about is her own, and you'll see that in this too. Envy, feeling envious of others or believing others envy them. She has this grandiose thing where she thinks that she is like completely on par with God and everything God wants. So she thinks people are envious of that position, like somehow she's like a prophet or some shit. But that's obviously not the case. I mean, very obviously not the case. Oh man. Let's see. And arrogant behavior, acting superior, boastful, or condescending. She is constantly arrogant and constantly condescending to just about everybody around her, except for those who prop her up. Whenever Jason sits back in her background and starts essentially doing the equivalent of pumping his fists and being like, "Yeah, honey, you tell him." That's the only opinion that she cares about at that time. So of course, absolutely arrogant, narcissistic behavior. True NPD on display here.
Good in humanity. And in a lot of ways, it's very hard for me to see the good in humanity because I'm always waiting to see what their next move is, to see if they're going to hurt me, because that is what I know, is people pretend to love you to hurt you. They pretend to love you to betray you. So
if that is the case, let's pretend that you 100% sit back and believe that you're going to just be hurt by someone, right? Like let's say that is 100% the case. That's what you fully 100% believe. If that is the case, then why the fuck is Jason so protected from that? Are you expecting him to one day just get up and fucking blast you? What's the what is it? Which is it? Do you have paranoia with him? And if you do, you don't talk about it a lot.
when the narcissist knows they've lost control, they go harder, they do mean things, they do callous things to get a reaction, to get you to feel worse about yourself than you are. And when it comes to a family member, that it does do that.
Okay, but that would only make sense if the narcissist is doing that to get something from you. Unless you all are just going to claim that I guess they're supposed to be like narcissistic sadists or something like that.
There's no denying that being targetly harassed by your own loved ones.
Targetly harassed. I'm getting a little tired of hearing that.
It's quite a dagger in the back, especially when you really didn't do anything to grant said abuse.
Your all's level of abuse doesn't really fly, does it? Like your all's level of abuse constantly changes. Like at this point, just someone giving you a mean, well, let's be frank, this wouldn't happen to you. But for the sake of example, someone giving you a mean look, like at a grocery store, would be abuse to you. That person looked at me mean. They're abusive. Like I said, that wouldn't happen because, Shanny claims that she can't walk, so obviously she would never be in a grocery store.
But they will go harder. They will say more malicious things. They will try to get under your skin, but don't let them.
Don't
let them, because they get sexually off by seeing you hurt.
There we go. Now we're getting... That's not what a narcissist is. A narcissist has no sexual inclination on your quote-unquote pain. I don't know what the fuck you're on about with that.
They get sexually off by it. And it's a really weird psychology they have.
The psychology of a narcissist is one of the simplest psychologies to know. So it's not difficult. It's not complicated. And what you're talking about isn't narcissism. You're talking about sexual sadism. So I'm not sure how the comparison is supposed to be there.
There's someone in my chat right now trying to be all hotty toddy right now.
Oh, there it is.
But I don't want to engage with you because you have a very toxic personality.
Oh, look at that. There's that sense of self-importance showing through. Let's look at those symptoms again one more time. What's that? Grandiose self-importance. Yep, there that's showing through. Sense of entitlement. They're toxic, so you don't want to talk to them or engage. There we go. And let's see, arrogant behavior. You know, she's definitely called her hotty toddy, condescending language. There we go.
And that's one thing you have to learn is not to engage these toxic people, ignore them, block them, do everything you can to avoid them.
Then if that is if you already know that that's all you need to do, then why is it harassment and abuse? That it would not be considered harassment or abuse if you're able to just completely block it out. You wouldn't have any control over that.
Even in the Bible, in Romans 16, verses 17 and 18, it talks of avoiding those who causes contentions contrary to Scripture. They do it with supreme hurt.
Hold on. Oh, wait, Shanny.
They don't know how to treat causes contentions contrary to Scripture.
I'm backing that up to get that scripture real quick.
And that's one thing you have to learn is not to engage these toxic people, ignore them, block them, do everything you can to avoid them. Even in the Bible, in Romans 16, verses 17 and 18, it talks of avoiding those who causes contentions contrary to Scripture. They do it with supreme hurt. They don't know how to treat others like people.
Oh, okay. So just for everybody's brevity, and I like to keep fact checking and keeping up with what she's talking about here. So Romans 16 verses 17 through 18. Verse let's see, verse 17. I urge you, brothers and sisters, to watch out for those who cause divisions and put obstacles in your way that are contrary to the teachings you have learned, to keep away from them. So that's what she's referencing. Verse 17 urges believers to be vigilant against people who stir up division or promote teachings that are contradictory to the gospel. Verse 18 explains that such individuals are not serving Christ but their own interests, and often using smooth talk and flattery to mislead others, which is kind of wonderfully ironic, seeing as that's exactly what you and Rev do whenever it comes to people that you really want to be on the good side of. You all will suck up to them and kiss their asses as much as possible if it means that you'll get some kind of shout out, or if you'll get some sort of, especially if you're going to get a monetary benefit out of it. Oh my God. I don't think that your all's lips could come unglued from the ass cheeks of someone like that.
For the people that they use, yeah, they'll treat you like a person. But for the people they're fed up with, the people they're done with, the people they've used every asset they could, they go after them. After the assets dried up, after the money is not as good as it used to be, they'll throw you
ironic
away. These narcissists, and it feels like shit.
Okay.
Because I think the purpose of why they do that is to make you feel like you're not good enough, but you are. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're not good enough, because you are.
Okay.
People are just evil and judgmental and hurtful and unfortunate.
People are just evil and judgmental and hurtful. I want to hear that again.
People are just evil and judgmental and hurtful and
right. You're not supposed to judge others, but people are evil, judgmental, and hurtful.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of narcissists in this world who get off on hurting others.
You're one of them.
And there has to be a time where people stand up and say enough is enough with these type of people.
Like, if you want to see exactly how much of a supposedly getting off narcissist that Shanny is, look at go and find any of the videos where Shanny is talking about someone whom she has had a previous like beef with, and they start falling on some kind of hard times or something bad happens to them. Like, she will practically be fucking moaning with how much she enjoys their suffering, which goes to show exactly how much of a, if you want to consider, narcissists sexually getting off on people's pain, that's how you get to see that in full blown view with her.
These toxic people that just want to go after people. You make one mistake with a narcissist and they'll hold it against you forever.
You have done that with Jason, and you have done that with G-Man. You have done that with Carrie. You have done that with, basically, I know you did that with Vanilla T-Girl whenever she fell into your bad graces. And you are now doing that with your own son, so
They'll hold it over your head. Even though you've done everything you could to change that one mistake you've done, it doesn't matter to the narcissist because it's that one mistake they're going to hold over your head.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not doing it to put any justice out there in the world. They're doing it because they literally get sexually turned on and get off by your confusion, by your pain, by your hurt.
I absolutely hate how both you and Jason always revert this shit back to some sort of sexual stuff. Like, somehow there is a sexual gratification arc that always happens with everything that happens against you too. It's annoying. It's annoying that it always refers back to that, and it also shows me exactly how completely infatuated you all are with sex. Like, nothing else matters at that point. And once again, as I have said before, goes to show how both of these two are the direct personifications of the seven deadly sins, and lust is one of the biggest ones that they show a lot of.
They're fucked up in the head, these narcissists. And the only thing I can say is just stay away from them and don't engage once you notice who they are.
That's why most people don't engage with you directly. They'll do like what I'm doing. They'll respond to your words, but there's not walking up to you. Well, let's face it, nobody would want to do that anyway. But they're not personally walking up to you and talking to you and engaging with you in that way. Honestly, whenever it comes to engaging with a narcissist like yourself, this is the best way to do it, because without being physically in front of you, there's nothing that you can do to stop anyone from talking about you, or stop anyone from engaging in this way. Because otherwise, if you could, you would probably physically try to stop anybody who criticizes you.
Because once a person realizes someone's a narcissist, they're not going to stay around them. They're not going to pick on them. They're not going to engage on them.
No. If I recognize that someone is a narcissist as just a point of making the narcissist uncomfortable, it's good to call them out, because that's what a narcissist doesn't want you to do. You get how it is very easy to see that you have NPD and that you are a narcissist, because anytime anyone criticizes you, anytime anyone criticizes Jason, you all have this immediate response to try to shut that person down, to get them to stop talking. Now, granted, the one kudo that I will give to or the one kudos that I'll give to Jason is that at least whenever he gets corrected, he will correct the record. He'll actually be like, okay, yeah, I'm all right, yeah, I'm going to change what I said here. You can't do that. Anytime anyone corrects you, they just need to shut up. They don't know what they're talking about, even if it's like a common knowledge thing. Just shut up.
So,
No, you don't know.
Really, those people who want to claim that I'm a narcissist are actually proving the opposite every fucking day.
Yeah, you're stupid if you believe that. Let's face it. You're trying to change the definition of what a narcissist is at that point.
Them continually to engage someone who they claim is a narcissist when normal people, when they engage a narcissist, ignore them.
No, the normal behavior for engaging a narcissist is to prove to everybody that they are a narcissist. So that way everyone knows what they're getting into the moment that you try to engage. That's what that is. Consider it a community service at that point.
And that's a fact, Jack.
It's not a fact. Sorry. My name's not Jack.
Any psychologist in the world would tell you not to engage a narcissist.
No. No. They wouldn't. Coming from someone who is wanting to be a psychologist and later be a psychiatrist, no, I would never tell anybody not to engage with a narcissist. I would say that if you're going to engage with a narcissist, make sure that first and foremost that you do so within safe boundaries. And secondly, I would say that the best way to engage a narcissist is to call them out, because that is how a narcissist either shuts down or, in your case, lashes out. It's never one way, or it's never like in between that.
But here you are claiming I'm a narcissist and you're trying to engage me. You're full of shit. You're proving the whole world how full of shit you are.
You need to listen to that particular sentence. You're showing the world how full of shit you are, and you need to put it on repeat for yourself.
By claiming I'm a narcissist, but continuing to engage me. Dumb shits.
This is the point positive right here of someone who thinks they know what a definition is or thinks that they're using it right. Turns out they're using it wrong. And because they're using it wrong, everybody else is wrong because they think they're right.
If I was a narcissist, you'd be afraid of me.
More self-grandiose there with that whole I'm more intelligent than you are cackle that she does. And no, there's nothing in narcissism that says somebody should be afraid of you for being a narcissist. That now, who, in your own words, you're full of shit.
Not. If I was a narcissist, you wouldn't want to engage with me. You keep engaging. Hence, those who claim I'm a narcissist, their continued engagement proves that I'm not.
It's not the way that works. And once again, the engagement that you're experiencing isn't even quote-unquote engagement. It's people criticizing the shit that you say whenever you put it out. An actual engagement would be a conversation at that level anyway. And Lord knows, I wouldn't want to have any sort of long conversation with someone who believes that the moon doesn't exist.
Because I'm a human. I feel deeply. In fact, having borderline personality disorder, I feel more deeply than most people.
No, you don't.
And every person with BPD would agree with that.
No, they wouldn't. Not only that, but like I think it's insulting to everyone else who actually has BPD that this person is using that diagnosis to try to garner any sort of bonus points. You should definitely be angry with this person for trying to use your mental disorder, your mental illness to garner some kind of fucking sympathy points, because they have used that shit for money over and over and over again. Like, we don't even need to get into the fake cancer arc. You know, for someone who claims that, you know, they're not a narcissist, that they don't have any narcissistic traits, that clicking that you keep hearing is her reopening her chat to look at it, because she's seeing if someone is tossing her a compliment. That's the reason why she keeps checking it. Once again, goes back to that list of symptoms that we looked at, where she needs that gratification, she needs that admiration. That's what she's looking for.
The thing is for the narcissist, their worst nightmare is being caught in their own game.
No, for a narcissist, their worst nightmare is being called out and being actually confronted. Because whenever you're a narcissist, you think that you are the center of the universe, that your shit doesn't stink, and that you are the best of the best and no one else. So just as soon as you get told, hey, you're not the greatest in the world, that's where the nightmare begins.
For the narcissists, they hate that. That's why they go even harder when they realize their game is up. Because they think it's going to prove somewhere to the world that they aren't what they're showing the world they are.
Kind of funny, seeing as that's exactly what's going on with you, with your son right now.
I don't have to prove anything to anyone about who I am, because I know who I am.
Yep. Most of the internet knows who you are too, and it's been proven more and more with every growing bit of evidence that piles up that we haven't already seen with our own eyes.
And that's one thing a quality that a narcissist can never have. They will never, ever be able to know who they are.
See, that makes no sense. That right there makes no sense, because a narcissist already has a vivid picture of themselves in their mind. They already know who they are and who they and then they try to project that image, because they think they're the hottest thing in the world, no matter what that particular quality may be, that they're the absolute best, that no one can be better than them, that they have this, that they are the biggest blimp in the parade. That is what a narcissist thinks. That's how they view themselves. So to say that a narcissist doesn't have any self-image, that they don't know who they are, is horseshit.
They're so insecure about themselves. That's why you see the narcissist constantly pointing at others, plotting against others, always trying to get someone's goat, because they don't want to be found out. Instead, they target someone to be the scapegoat of their own inner dealings.
Isn't that funny? If we use that definition, then that's exactly what you are. You did that with your parents. You did that with your relationships. And now you're doing that with your own kid.
Of their own inner feelings, their own inner demons, their own inner ghosts. Their shadow.
I love how people will pile on that shit. Like, you can't just say, your own inner feelings. You can't stop there. You go, your own inner feelings, your own inner demons, your own inner ghosts, your own inner shadows, your own inner monsters, your own... It's like you don't need to throw 1,000 examples. We get it.
They can never integrate with their shadow because they're too afraid of looking at their own shadow. Then instead, they look at the world in the exterior, or in the exterior. They look at the outside of the world.
It's kind of funny because you and Jason have a really bad habit of trying to look at the inside of people. You're looking at the exterior of the world, but you try to look at the inside of people, and then that's whenever the judgment comes out. Once again, not prime Christian material, but, whatever.
This person is the problem because they aren't perfect. This person is a problem because they aren't perfect.
Hey, Shanny, remember whenever you pointed at Jason, and you said that your suffering was because of him, back whenever you all would have your supposed end of the relationship fights? Or recently, how you're suffering because your son took money from somebody?
This person is the problem. This person is the problem. This person is a problem.
You do that, once again, you do that yourself. So by going by your own definition, what are you?
without realizing that the problem with their own life is themselves. That's why they
Oof. Need to go find whatever mirror that isn't shattered in your house and look in it.
point everyone else out because they have to.
Looking for the admiration again.
And another thing a narcissist, thank you for showing me, another thing that narcissists do is, again, we got to point at this direction that I know this person has a lot of pain in, and we're going to point directly at that direction to get them to say stuff, and to get them to say stuff, because you tend to hear that a lot from narcs, is they say,
There's the word. Narcs. Narcissist is you can't shorten narcissist to narc. It doesn't work. A narc is something completely different. But also, once again, we got another Shannyism where she's trying to pretend like she knows what she's talking about. Whenever narcissists speak, you'll hear "we" a lot. No, you won't. Narcissists aren't we. A narcissist doesn't use "we" when referring to themselves. They say "me" or "I." And coming from Shanny, you hear nothing but "me." This is affecting me. This hurts me. This is all about me. They do this to me. They looked at me. This is about me. Even if this wasn't about me, I'm relating it back to me somehow. That's exactly what Shanny does all the time.
a lot of we's or us. You see that a lot from narcs, is they say we or us because they want to make their numbers bigger than what they really are. They have an inflated ego.
A narcissist doesn't say we or us because a narcissist would be focused on them. There is no we and us with a narcissist. Even if there is a group of people, the narcissist doesn't give a shit about the group of people. They give a shit about themselves. So what the fuck are you on about?
They think they're better than other people. So they do the we, us statements, hence proven their insecurity because they can't rely on their own self, their own identity to point out what is right from wrong, what is going on and what isn't going on. And they'll use, and for some reason in the narcissist's mind, they think making up a story and repeating it a bunch of times is what's going to make it into a reality, and it doesn't. And another thing a narcissist likes to do is when you're hitting way too close to the truth, they tend to say shut the fuck up a lot.
That is like probably the only like close to right statement she's said so far, but it's not in the same context that she's using it. A narcissist will tell you to shut the fuck up whenever you start confronting them because they don't want to hear what everyone else says and sees about them. They want to hear what they see and think about themselves. That's why it's a narcissism. That's why it's a narcissist. But you know, what can you do? You can only try to show a brain dead tortoise. Should I even compare it to a tortoise? No, a tortoise is too wise. You can only show a brain dead walrus exactly where the fish is before they finally get it. And if they never get it, then it's just like, what can you do?
Because you're hurting their insecurity, you see, by speaking about their insecurities, because deep down, they know how insecure they are, and they hate that word insecure. See, I'm saying narcissists for the point. See, you say narcissists, it's funny how the narcissists are coming out, and without me even saying their name, showing their narcissistic personality disorder. Pretty handy thing to do.
Isn't that funny that she, once again, is like, this is the reason why I said I'm sure she watched my stream, because she has never said narcissistic personality disorder up until this point. Never happened. Never once has she said NPD or narcissistic personality disorder. She just referenced everybody as trolls. But now she is trying to do this one-up game, I guess, where if she labels everybody else as a narcissist, then nobody can see her as a narcissist, despite the fact that she has all of the symptoms and all of the signs of a narcissist. But, you know, you gotta do what you can to obfuscate that, and much like what she was just saying, she's pointing at everyone else, saying, "Look at them! Don't look and blame them. They're the problem, not me."
When you're surrounded by a bunch of narcissists, it's just call out narcissists. Don't call anybody out by their names. Call out narcissists, because the narcissist will always tell on themselves. The narcissist will always be like, "Oh, I'm a narcissist, even though it's being spoken negatively. I'm the narcissist in the room. You know why? Because they can't help but want the attention, because they're so insecure, they need that, even that negative attention.
Letting that sink in for a second and let the irony play out for itself.
So
there's that fucking I'm smarter than you laugh again.
There are some tricks if you'd like to, mess with them a little. You can mess with them. Just call them out by what they are. Narcissists. And they'll show themselves real quick because they can't help it. I'm sure there's some narcissists, though, that are trying not to show themselves and they're grinding their teeth right now. To which I laugh at you.
Okay. There's that giggle again.
I laugh that you get mad that I say narcissist and you know it's talking about you.
Your fake laugh is so fake that even your teeth disappear. It's pretty sad.
It's a good method how to block people. Especially when dealing with the narcissist communities of the internet. Call out the narcissist.
The narcissist communities of the internet. Like, there is a group of narcissists. Okay. I thought I heard dumb things, but alright. If there was a narcissist community, it would dry up the moment that it was made, because that's not the way narcissism and narcissists work at all. So whatever.
They'll come. They can't help it. They'll come.
No, they won't.
They'll try to get personal with you, but don't let them get personal with you. Just call out narcissists and their behaviors of how they...
Yeah, unlike you, who immediately not only gets personal, but starts using God as their avenger. Like you are very quick to invoke the name of God whenever it comes to vengeance and wrath and anger. Whenever you just don't want to put that out into the world yourself, despite the fact that if we're looking at your religion seriously, then you doing that would already be a sin, because God would already know why you're invoking his name, and technically would be pretty close to using God in vain, which I'm pretty sure is a sin, right?
They treat people. They hate being treated that way. It's funny. They like to call everyone else's fucking problems and inner demons and things they've already worked out on. They like to call that shit out, but hell, them being called out for their bad behavior, oh my god, a narcissist.
So, what have people called out on you that would reference? Would that be the whole abuse thing, which we can literally look up and see and find for ourselves? Or it's actually kind of funny now that I bring that up, because in one of her previous videos, which I'm not going to watch in this one, but in one of her previous videos, she brought up to her son that she never used his name or talked about him in any sort of abusive, malicious way. But the thing is that you totally did. It got so bad that fucking Jason lost his job over it, because you were talking so fucking nastily about your own kid. But you and Jason have since, because since that those videos no longer are on your channel because they're long since deleted, you all use the fact that they're deleted as a gotcha thing, where you're like, oh well, if it's deleted, it didn't happen. But words that are spoken can't really be taken back by those that heard it. So
Just can't fucking stand that shit, let me tell you. I guarantee they're over their channels right now bitching and squalling and acting all fucking psycho. You want to see what Shanny did? This is how horrible she is. Yeah.
How ironic.
Whatever. Narcissists come to me. Narcissists are going to be spoke about. You want the attention so much. You didn't want this type of attention, though. To be treated like narcissists, did you, narcs?
And so once again, you can't shorten narcissist to narcs. It's two different. A narc is not a narcissist. It's a completely different term. But then again, I'm pretty sure with how you and Jason have been in the past, that you probably do hate narcs just as much as you hate narcissists. I'm just going to leave that where it is.
Narcs. See, you get personal with people.
It's not the same
I don't care.
word.
I don't care. You're showing your ass. I ain't showing my ass.
No, you did that on your OnlyFans already, and that did nothing for you, so.
I'm just talking about narcissists. I'm not the one getting mad like you are, where you have to put out every little petty insult you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many times I've been told this shit? So many times. You know why I don't care and I don't change? Because I don't need to change for narcissists on the internet who want to control someone's channel because they have a problem that another person exists.
No, that's complete narcissistic behavior that you don't change. You won't change no matter how much you get called out, because your image that you have projected in your mind of yourself is so incorruptible and is so perfect to you that there's no reason you would change it. Thus, the narcissistic mindset.
Okay? If you have a problem with people existing, go to therapy.
Take your own advice. You and Jason have a really bad time. I know I lump you all together, but I mean, let's face facts. Basically, anything that you say, Jason's going to be nodding his head about anyway and agreeing with you. But anyway, excuse me. But take your own advice. You all have a really bad time and struggling with the fact that these people troll you online. Go to therapy over it.
Go to therapy. Pretty simple. With a narc. Shit.
That's not the same term.
See, there they go. They ask a sweet question. That's really not a sweet question, but a question a narc would ask to get into your fucking business. You see? It's pretty simple to find the narcs. They ask personal questions. When they don't get their personal questions answered, they attack. Smear campaigns.
That's not what a narcissist does. I don't know. Huh?
Treating you like shit. Treating you like you're something that you're not. Saying you're cold. You're calculating. You're manipulative.
You are cold and you are manipulative. I don't know how calculating you are, because the way that you go about things, either one, you're so calculating about it that it hides how calculating you are, or you have no calculation whatsoever. You just have a bad impulse just to say shit, and then whenever it comes back to you, you are very vehement to fucking shake your head and go, "I never said that. I've never said that ever in my life. Have you ever heard me say that?" No, even he's saying I've never said that. I've heard you all do that before, despite the fact that someone could provide you with the exact video of you saying what they're saying that you said, and then well, I guess nowadays you always just blame AI. Like, "Oh no, that's AI using my voice."
When all you want to do is just have your own peace. But they'll attack.
I probably just gave them like the perfect excuse now. Oops. Sorry, everybody.
They'll attack. It's what they do. They can't help themselves. These mono beings in the world. Attack, 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 attack.
What? What did she just say?
These mono beings in the world. Attack, 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 attack.
Mono beings? Mono beings. Okay.
Without giving any real constructive criticism. Just attack.
Oh, sorry, mono beans, because she can't say G's. It's wrong instead of wrong.
People wonder why I don't want to talk to anyone anymore. People wonder why I don't want to deal with anyone.
Yet you continue to do lives and deal with people. I don't want to do anything with anybody anymore. Immediately goes into an activity that a lot of people can be a part of. I don't want to deal with anyone. People start dealing with her. It's so stupid.
Because, frankly, I don't want to talk to the next narc.
You know what? I'm literally waiting for her to be like, "You know what? I don't want to deal with anyone anymore. I don't want to talk to anyone anymore." And then the next thing you see is her like, I know it'll never happen. I know it'll absolutely never happen, but hear me out with this scenario, please. Imagine that she's like, I don't want to deal with anybody anymore. I don't want to be seen by anybody anymore. I don't want to deal with anybody anymore. I don't want to talk to anyone anymore. And then the next thing you see is a Instagram or a YouTube or whatever it is that they're using these days. She goes live and she's sitting out in the middle of like a park or something, or on the sidewalk or whatever, wherever she was able to roll to. And she's just doing like an open Q&A with everybody that comes by. That's the level of dumb that we're dealing with.
I don't know who's a narc or not who comes to me acting all nice and kind. Why you fucking love bombing me? That's my first question. Why you love bombing me?
If you were so fucking paranoid that the first thing that you ask somebody is why are you love bombing me, which is, you know, her way of saying why are you being nice to me, then you got your own shit that you desperately need to deal with. If you can't trust anybody just to be nice to you, you already know how bad you are, which is very interesting. That's very interesting. That goes to show where her MPD and that paranoia blends together, because she's got the sense of she knows exactly who can deal with her and who can handle her, and if they're not being grandiose and giving her that they're not giving her that sense of admiration and compliments and adornment that she thinks that she deserves. Ooh, that's where you get on her bad side.
What's your angle? What's your deal? What do you want?
You're so stupid, man.
You should ask these questions that I ask.
This is why you don't have
smart
friends.
to ask to people.
No, that's just why you don't have friends. Not still looking for that.
There you go, bringing up something personal. Narc red flag, narc red flag, narc red flag. They're bringing up something personal. Narc red flag.
Nah, it means you're just a terrible person, and people bring up the personal shit because that goes to show exactly how much of a narcissist you are. You can't handle it.
Are we done now? Be smart, guys. Be wise. Don't let the narcs get to you.
Fucking narc is not the same word, bro.
Don't let the narcs get to you. Be wise. That they will come in your life, regardless if you like it or not. And their purpose is to make you feel bad that you exist. We'll rise above it and realize their opinions.
I'm just going to let her talk for the rest of this because it's not. I think it's a little over a minute left anyway. So I'm just going to let her finish this out because I don't know if she's going to say anything that's really worth commenting on. I pretty much said everything I need to say.
Don't matter and kick them to the curb.
Kick them to the curb.
And you'll live a happier life and a peaceful life.
You'll live a peaceful life like me.
Just always remember, don't call them by name. Call them what they are, narcs. Because they spend their whole time dehumanizing others.
Don't call her by name. Call her Big Big. That's the best way to approach Shanny. Call her Big Big. Call her Big Shan Moo. That's all you need to do in order to get a response.
Well, tell them they're a narc.
Moo. Big Shan Moo.
Some people care.
Your fake laugh is terrible. You need to work on that.
Good luck getting that in my head that some people care.
Wow, if you truly believe that no people care, then yeah. We already got you figured out.
Good luck getting that in my head. I already talked about how most of my life I was surrounded by narcissists. Abused and treated like shit and thrown to the curb when I was of no longer use to them. People can do good things, but to be a great person, to be a caring person, that's something. Piece of Maranatha.
Oh my god, there's another thing I hate that they do. Piece of Maranatha, like they know what the fuck that means. Go fuck yourself. Alright. Nextin. We'll see, of course, here's Shanny ranting and raving that she's done, but she's not done, because if she was done, she wouldn't be ranting and raving about how she's done, because if you're done, that means you're done. That doesn't mean that you keep talking about how you're done. Blah, 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 blah. So let's get into this. And then we'll be done. Because I can only stand so much.
Because I need to think about myself. I need to think about my well-being.
Mhm.
I got to protect my heart.
Yeah.
And guard my heart.
Uh-huh.
I've been looking into how Christians deal with abusive sons who are disrespectful.
Uh-huh.
And every advice is...
All roads lead back to William. That needs to be a song. Just someone find, like, someone either make like an AI song or something like that and literally just entitle it and show it all these examples. Because all roads lead back to William. All roads lead back to William.
Is to leave. To block them out of your life.
Then
To
do
ghost
it.
them.
Yeah.
The reason is they need to learn not to treat people disrespectfully.
Okay.
They need to realize that healthy boundaries are what's needed in this relationship. To be disrespected by your own child is one of the most painful things that a person can go through.
Sure.
And since the chat wants to be disrespectful, you're going to be turned off.
Oh my God. The chat's going to be disrespectful. I'm going to turn it off. Maybe you shouldn't make a live stream if you don't want chat to be there. Like, just make a video. Are you all claiming that you can't make fucking videos, so you have to do live streams? I like to do live streams. That's the only reason why I'm doing this, but like, come on.
So enjoy whatever you're doing, because it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
So I'm letting him go. I don't want to have to deal with this in my life. You know, as a believer in Jesus, it's very hard to deal with situations like this because you feel like you're obligated to your child, like you're spiritually obligated to your child.
You know what? I'm just gonna move on, because if I get into this rant, it's gonna take a half a fucking hour.
But what if your child disrespects you? What if your child dishonors you? You know, being a believer, you know it comes with a death curse.
It doesn't. Okay, this is where I actually had to, like, just full disclosure. I skimmed through these beforehand. There is no death curse whenever it comes to Christianity. There is the curse of death, where, you know, you die because Adam and Eve, you know, ate the apple. We are cursed with death because of that. And then there is the spiritual death, which comes with all the sin and whatnot, but not in the same way. Like, I even looked up, are there any death curses in Christianity, right? And Christianity does not practice or endorse death curses, but the Bible contains references to curses associated with death, judgment, and divine punishment. So talking about after you die. There are biblical curses related to death, like the curse of death from sin. According to Christian doctrine, death itself is considered a curse resulting from humanity's original sin. So there you go. The eating of the apple. Curses for disobedience. The Old Testament, God warns Israel that disobedience will bring curses, including death, disease, and defeat. And that's in Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68, if you're curious. These are divine judgments, not human-imposed spells. And then hanging as a curse. Deuteronomy 21:22 through 23 describes hanging on a tree as a sign of being cursed by God. This passage is later referenced in the New Testament to explain how Jesus became a curse for humanity by dying on the cross. So there's no death curses. So I'm hoping that she gets more into it to explain that, but the way that she's explaining it right now, it's not correct.
Know as a believer that it's one of the most egregious sins you can do is disrespecting your parents. And I realize that even though my parents were abusive, the things I said were disrespectful. And
It's also a sin to disrespect the authority of the land, which you all do a lot.
dishonoring of them, and I should have been silent. But that's my lesson to learn. His lesson.
So, if you've already committed the sin yourself, right, and you're saying this is your sin to learn and whatever, and you should have stayed silent and all that shit. If we're going to say that he has like a death curse because he disrespected you, then don't you have the same because you disrespected your own parents, especially your mom?
Lesson to learn is to not be selfish, to not be greedy, to not put people down, to raise yourself up. Everything you think you have is going to be taken from you.
Sure.
This. And it's very hard to say that as your mother, but
everything that you have is going to be taken away from you because of this. Well, whenever you die, everything is taken from you anyway because you're no longer alive. So I'm not entirely sure how that is supposed to be like a warning. Should be common sense.
it's true. I know how God works.
Oh, you know how God works, do you? Okay. Nobody can know the inner workings of God, but you know. Got it.
And it may not come soon, it may come later in your life, but you're eventually going to have to pay for what you've done.
Are you paying for what you did? Just out of curiosity.
For the pain you've caused. For the breaking of my mind.
The breaking of your mind. You have claimed that your mind and spirit and everything else has been broken long before this, so I'm not entirely sure what that even means at this point. Your mind can't be broken more than once. As soon as you snap, you snap. You're kind of Dunsky after that. So,
for causing me to having to let you go. I didn't want to leave you.
Yeah, you did. Okay, I didn't want to leave you. Right, says the woman who willingly gave over her kids to CPS because she didn't want to be without her piggy bank at the time. Right.
But when someone shows who they are.
And even if, you know what, even if I have my timeline wrong, even if Jason was like already broke by then, it's the fact that she still chose him over her own kids. It says a lot.
You should believe them. When they're sneaky and lying and hiding things and causing trouble in other people's lives, believe them. You know, I didn't raise him to be a scumbag, but it's what he was influenced.
Didn't raise him to be a scumbag, but now he's being influenced to be a scumbag. Like, I understand people can piss you off, right? I understand, like, you can be mad at your family. But there comes a line, right? I mean, you crossed that line like many times already, and over and over again, in fact. But don't you think that? You know what? No, you don't. That's just going to be a topic before the rhetorical answer is that she just doesn't. There is no line that she will never cross. So
influenced to be by these evil fucking people. They influenced my son to become a scumbag.
Evil fucking people.
You know, they think it's okay to disrespect your parents. They encourage it. Which
I am a very firm believer of respect is earned, not given. I will say that as far as I am concerned, my family have earned my respect over and over and over again to where I could never disrespect them. But I still say respect is earned, not given. The act of you pushing a person out of your vagina does not mean that they should be eternally respectful to you if from that point on you're beating the fuck out of them or you're emotionally whipping them around or mentally abusing them. At that point, it doesn't matter what you've done in between those abuses, you don't deserve the respect.
which means that curse is put onto them as well, that my son is under.
What?
Because they are influencing a young man, a fragile mind, to disrespect their mother. Now, as parents, as adults, we should be not condoning that behavior. These people are. They think it's okay.
But so because he's calling you all out for what you've done, he's disrespecting you. You see where the narcissism comes back? This is the reason why I say that she definitely has MPD, because whenever she's bringing up her kid, it's one like it ends up being like the sure signs, like the sure signs that she has MPD. Because she believes wholeheartedly, 110%, that no matter what he says is wrong, no matter how true it is. Because if it comes out as truth and people start believing it to be true, then she cannot keep up the perfect image of herself, which is she's, just this disabled Christian who is very nice and loves people if they love her. But it's not the case. Shanny loves the person in the mirror, and that's about as far as it goes. Everything else is extra work for her to maintain the benefits she has.
Okay to completely disrespect your parents, to talk bad about them, to treat them like they never existed.
To talk bad about them? If you did something bad, then shouldn't someone bring up what you've done? No, of course not. Sweep it under the rug.
They think it's okay.
I think it is perfectly okay if someone abuses their kid for that person to be called out on the abuse that they have done. Because without calling it out, there is no accountability.
The problem with this, William, is you're going to have to pay for this sin. And it's one I never wanted to see you to go through. I didn't even see it coming.
What's strange is that not only are you threatening him with like the religious part of your the religious part of your what they're going to have to how he's going to have to pay, but you keep threatening him with fucking jail time, and I don't understand that point. I don't know what fucking jail time he's supposed to experience, because what exactly what exactly is he doing that he would be going to jail for? I'm not understanding that.
I didn't even see it coming. That's why I've been so torn up, because it came out of nowhere.
It came from someone who knows the truth about you, and because the truth is coming out, your narcissistic brain is trying your best to shut it down and shut it off and shove it away, because otherwise that grandiose self-image is going to break.
Nowhere. But
nowhere.
As a believer, I'm stepping away. I'm going to keep my peace. I'm going to take the higher ground. I don't want
to take the higher ground? Right. Like you have done so many times before.
I want to throw curses at my son. I don't want to call him names. I don't want to hurt him.
But
he has set himself to hurt me. So I have to protect myself from him and his greediness and selfishness and the blood money he's received to be disrespectful to his parents.
Okay, no. You can't just throw out a term like blood money and then just continue walking on. No. Someone paid him to do an interview. Since then, people have been giving him donations, which I don't really care. If that's what people want to do after that, whatever, that's fine. Just don't be fucking weird about it. But anyways, people paid him to do an interview. He did the interview. He kind of showed who you are as a person, and now that's blood money. Blood money would imply that someone has died for that money. So who's died for that money? Who's died over that money? Are you claiming that you're dead over that money? That you're let me guess. It's not a physical death, it's a mental death or a spiritual death, right? Because that's going to be exactly where you go with that shit.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up that I'm disabled and going through horrible medical shit, horrible health, and I get treated like I'm a horrible person for being sick.
What sicknesses exactly do you have? That's what I'm curious about. What sicknesses exactly do you fucking have? Because it changes from fucking time to time, day to day, year to year, what you have. You're disabled and you're sick. How are you disabled and how are you sick? You're able to get up and move around. We've seen you do it multiple times, so obviously you're not physically disabled. Are you mentally disabled? Are you claiming that the mental disorders that you have is what prevents you from stuff? Because BPD is manageable. You wouldn't be able to claim that that's it. I know at one point you said you have fibromyalgia, but you and Jason constantly do streams where you're always up and around and doing something. So it can't be that. So what is it that you have exactly? And don't try to throw the fucking big C word at me because you don't have fucking cancer.
I'm told I have to get better in order for him to be in my life. And the fact is, I'm not going to get better. As time goes on, I'm going to get worse.
Oh no, before you say what I know you're going to say there, you're not going to get better because you don't want to get better. If you got better, you couldn't be disabled anymore. You wouldn't be able to claim that whole card.
And the fact is, I'm not going to get better.
You don't want to.
As time goes on, I'm going to get worse and worse and worse. That's my prognosis.
Sure.
You know, you can't heal arthritis. There's no cure to osteoarthritis.
Osteoarthritis? Is that what we think you have now? Okay. I am not very big on medical conditions. Let's see what that is. Oh man, I know I'm spelling this wrong, but whatever. Please tell me it has a correction. There it is. What is osteoarthritis? Most common form of arthritis caused by the gradual breakdown of cartilage in joints, leading to pain, stiffness, and reduced mobility. It typically affects the hands, knees, hips, and spine. Okay. So, what happens with osteoarthritis? Cartilage wears down, smooth tissue that cushions bones deteriorates, causing bones to rub against each other. Joint changes, bone spurs may form, the joint lining may become inflamed, and loss of flexibility. Movement becomes pained and limited over time. Okay. Pain. Common symptoms is pain during or after movement, stiffness, especially after rest or in the morning, tenderness when pressing on the joint, grating sensation or crackling sounds, swelling due to inflammation, bone spurs, felt as hard lumps around the joints. Okay. Let's see. Causes and risk factors. Ages. Risk increases with age, obviously. Women are more likely to develop it. Obesity. Extra weight stresses joints and promotes inflammation. Well, we know where that is. Joint injuries. Past injuries can lead to early wear. Repetitive stress. Jobs or sports overuse the joints. Well, that's not her problem. Genetics, I don't know anything about her family history. Bone deformities or metabolic diseases, conditions like diabetes or hemochromatosis can contribute. Interesting. She doesn't have diabetes, I know that much. Let's see, and then you find out by doing like physical exams and x-rays. Management options. Here we go. So strengthen muscles and improves flexibility. Well, that's too much work for her, so she's not going to be exercising. Weight management. Well, we already know that she doesn't want to do that. Medications. She does way too much of that. Physical therapy. She doesn't want to do that. That would require her to actually, leave the house. Assistive devices, braces, canes, and shoe inserts. Well, she claims to have a walker, so maybe she's already doing that, and surgery, which she will not do. Let's see, use heat or cold therapy for pain relief. This is living with it. Avoid repetitive motions or high impact activities. Well, sitting in front of a computer for 8 hours definitely isn't high impact. Join support groups. Well, she doesn't want to do that because she apparently doesn't trust people. And maintain regular check-ins with healthcare providers. Well, both her and Jason absolutely do not trust the medical system, despite the fact that they use the medical system over and over to try to use as a cudgel to bang people over the head with, but whatever.
So no, I'm probably never going to be able to walk properly. You know, I tried to even dance today, and
First of all, you're not dancing at any point. Secondly, you're never going to be able to walk properly. Yeah, that's because you don't exercise and try to lose weight in order to get the stress off of your joints so it doesn't become an issue.
almost fell flat on my face. You saw it.
And of course, Jason is.
I almost fell today trying to dance.
I know, baby. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Because I love to dance. I miss dancing.
Sure you do.
I miss being able to move. But I can't. I can't. And it was just a very simple move. But I couldn't do it.
Okay. Now I'll believe you, but whatever.
To be hurt so badly and then to be told I'm a liar about my health when I've been very transparent to him about my health. It's
how transparent is it to basically say, I have this diagnosis. It comes with these issues. And then be told, which I'm pretty sure that if you were diagnosed with it, you were told what you could do to improve it, right? And you not pass along what you need to do in order to improve your condition. It kind of seems to me that just as soon as you got that diagnosis, that was like the perfect opportunity for you to use everybody around you to continue reverting back to that MPD that we read about earlier. Once again, use that to use the people around you. That was like your perfect scapegoat.
It's so cruel. It's so mean. And it's so untrue. Like, I'm disabled. I'm always going to be disabled.
No,
for the rest of my life, I'm going to be disabled.
That's bullshit. You could be labeled as being disabled, and then you get better enough that the disability just doesn't exist anymore. Now, there are some conditions where that's just not the case, obviously. If you lost like your legs or something, then you're always going to have lost your legs. Even if you get prosthetics, it's not the same. Or you could have like some sort of chronic disease that makes it to where you're disabled, and that chronic disease keeps you from doing things and maintains that disability status. But you just looking into the camera and saying, oh, well, I am disabled, I will always be disabled. Well, with that attitude, absolutely. But it's just not factual.
But I have to be 100% for him. You tell me.
Why wouldn't you? Here's a good question. I'm going to back this up so I don't miss anything that she was going to say. Why wouldn't you want to be better for your kid? Like, if you have kids, why wouldn't you want to be better for them? Like, as I sit right now, and as I am right now, I am in not the peakest physical condition that I could be. I'm average, maybe at best. But if I were to have a kid, I would be doing everything that I could in order to be more than 100%. Like, for example, if I had a kid, I would be probably working out twice as hard. I would want to be able to lift my kid and carry my kid no matter how big they got. I would continue my intellectual journey to try to be as smart as I could in order to help that child as much as I could with whatever problems that they may encounter. I would work on being more patient because right now I'm a very impatient guy. It's something that I definitely need to work on and change. But I would improve myself. I would work to improve my patience and my wisdom in order to make sure that that kid has the absolute best that that kid could have. So why wouldn't you want to do that?
For the rest of my life, I'm going to be disabled, but I have to be 100% for him. You tell me if that's not cruel or not. Because to me, I find that very cruel. To tell your mother who is disabled, she needs to get up and walk like she used to in order to be in her life.
Well, you would be able to get up and walk like you used to if you actually got up and walked every day, but you don't. From what I understand from your all's own lips, especially with Jason, who kind of tells on you from time to time, your day-to-day life consists of you rolling around groaning in bed. Then you finally get up, you eat something, and then you sit at the computer until you finally roll over and groan and go back to bed. So if that's all that you do, then obviously you're not going to improve. If you got to get up, you got to move around, you got to do stuff. If you were to walk 30 minutes a day, you would start experiencing improvement. And any medical professional will tell you that. But you refuse because you want the image of you being this poor, pitiful thing that everybody needs to help and needs to constantly give you care and attention because you want that care and attention on you at all times. You're never going to improve for yourself. Like, I think at this point, the only time that you would like actually start caring and improving yourself is if where you lived right now was threatened if you did otherwise. If Jason's uncle finally came over saying, that's it, I'm done with you being a fat bitch, you got to get up and you need to start, like, I need to start seeing you walking around 30 minutes a day. Like, actually working to improve your health. If I don't see that, then you're gone. Like, unless that somehow happened, which it's never going to. But if that somehow happened, then we might see some improvement from Shamu, but it's never going to happen.
Tell me how that's not cruel.
It's not cruel.
When I can't.
And I just
I need a
explained
walker
how it's not cruel.
to walk.
Then walk with it. You need a walker to walk. Well, then walk with it. The key to long life is constant movement, is to motion. Get up and walk with the damn thing.
And that's even laborly intensive because the pain is so damn bad to walk.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Okay. I know that she has a lot of weight issues and whatnot, and that could make I could do like what everyone else would do and take the lowest hanging fruit with that, but I won't. But it can't be so fucking bad that walking around with a walker is even so intensifyingly bad that you can't do it. If that is the case, you need to be in a wheelchair. There is no way that it is that bad. If you were in that much pain at all times, we wouldn't be talking to you or seeing you talk to your screen at all because you would be so fucking zonked out on painkillers all the time. That's all you would do is sleep. So over exaggeration at the minimum on her part, but in my opinion, this is exactly what she wants to be portrayed as, someone who can barely move without being in a lot of pain, so you'll feel bad.
Okay? Normal people, when they have osteoarthritis, it's only in one area of their body. Okay? Me, I didn't get that lucky chance, okay? It's in both my ankles, both my knees, both my hips, and growing up my lower back through my tailbone.
So you claim you have osteoarthritis in both ankles, both knees, both hips, and is slowly and surely growing up your spine. Why You know what? Never mind. I already know the answer, but okay, whatever.
And then I got arthritis in my arms, my neck.
You have arthritis in your arms and your neck too? How are you able to function at all then?
There's nothing I can fucking do about it.
Yeah, bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
Nothing. And there's no cure to it.
Arthritis doesn't need to be cured. There are people who have chronic arthritis, osteoarthritis in multiple places in their body that still do just fine. It's just the fact that you don't want to. You don't want to do it.
Him saying I never got mental health treatment either? That's a bull-faced lie.
You know what? I actually trust that. I trust that you didn't, because you and Jason have especially you, 100% you have a chronic armchair self-diagnosis sort of thing going on. So I 100% believe you didn't get any help.
That's a hell of a bold-faced lie. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe I didn't tell him. I'm going to therapy today. I don't know. Or maybe he's lying.
Well, it's one or the other. I know you're going to stick with the fact that you're going to stick with the fact in your mind that he's lying, but you would think if you're going to therapy, any sort of therapy, you would just tell people where you're going, especially if it's your kid. Yeah, mommy's going to leave for a little while. Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to therapy, just so you know. I mean, it seems like a normal thing to say, but whatever.
But he damn well knows I've gone to therapy.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you're saying a second ago that maybe you didn't tell him, but now you're saying he damn well knows that you went. So did you tell him or not?
We have talked hours together about psychology.
That doesn't mean a damn thing. I can talk hours with someone about Lord of the Rings. That doesn't mean I lived in Middle Earth. So, what does that even mean?
And I've gone through hours. But I can't.
Okay, once again, I can talk to someone for hours about Star Wars. That doesn't mean I walked on the Death Star. Make it make sense.
And I've gone through hours. But I can't do this to myself.
Uh-huh.
I spent the first half of my life being abused by my narcissistic mother, who tried to kill me several fucking times.
Well, according to her own words, that didn't happen, but whatever. I guess in this case, if the parent is always the truthful one, then where does that put you?
William's never had that experience.
Thank God for that.
Ever.
I highly doubt you tried to kill him, but I also highly doubt that you didn't abuse him. I think you emotionally abused that kid in some sort of way. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the cojones to say that you did. Money wouldn't change that. Like, I don't care how much money someone throws at me. You could throw $100 million at me right now and be like, hey, you need to go on some sort of public forum somewhere in public where everybody can play it back, reference it, listen to it, whatever. And you need to say that your mom abused the shit out of you. $100 million I would turn down, because I respect and love my mom way more than any money on this planet. So if I have that level of respect, I don't know if other people do. I don't even know if William does. But if he does, if he has any sort of level of respect for any of his parents, he wouldn't take any kind of money to change his opinion or change his experience. So that's the reason why I think that it goes above and beyond. It's definitely not a money thing as to why he's saying what he's saying. I think it's got some truth to it. You're just upset because your narcissistic image of yourself is slowly crumbling because the truth is coming out about you. And this kind of goes hand in hand with that with MPD, because she constantly makes these videos looking all downtrodden and sad and talking about him in this way because that helps save her image. It's the only reason that she's doing it.
I'm not going to do it with my son, because I see the trademarks, the traits that my mother had with him. The arrogance, the pride, the greed, the bragging.
The same thing that you have. You do realize that the traits that he has is going to be passed down more through you than it is your own mom. It's not even the way genetics work. Like with your genetics, sure, he's going to have like a quarter. He's going to have a quarter of your mom and your dad, because that's the way, like I said, it's the way genetics work. Because passing down through, you're in that case, you're one, so it'd be a quarter. But anyways, the traits that he's going to experience and show is going to be more through you, not through your mom. So I'm not understanding that bit, but whatever.
It's disgusting. And it's definitely something I never taught him. I taught him to be respectful.
I think that what you're mainly missing is the idea of being taught through action, being taught through observation. Maybe you didn't say, hey, be disrespectful to people, disrespect the shit out of me. I'm pretty sure you didn't just teach him that, but he learned that you go online, you constantly disrespect people. You disrespected your own mom, I'm fairly sure. In front of him. As a matter of fact, I do know that you used to dirty talk Jason with your kids in the same room through headset, over the fucking Google Meets and shit, or the Google Hangouts, and your mom had to come in and tell you to knock your shit off because your kids are there. You disrespected the shit out of her, basically calling her a bitch and everything for her not to come in your room. So with that being what he observed, if he is somehow disrespecting you now, that's where he learned it, not from your mom, from you.
I taught him to be honest, and he can't do any of that.
Can't be respectful.
So I'm going to have to put a strong boundary and a wall on him. And that's
It's not strong enough because you keep constantly coming back. If you have supposedly built a wall between you and him, you're the one who keeps coming back and busting through it like the fucking Kool-Aid man to continue the whole shit.
These older women who've gone through the same thing are teaching me. The word detachment is one of my favorite words. Another word that's my favorite word that I've been learning is no.
Detachment is one of your favorite words, and now another favorite word that you've been learning is no. You have been saying no forever, so I'm not entirely sure why that's suddenly a favorite word. And detachment is now your favorite word. Why? Because you're going to use it to say you're detaching yourself from your kid? Right.
Saying no is so good, because really, you're not obligated to anyone.
I mean, common sense. You're obligated to your kid until they're 18, and then you're not really obligated to them anymore. After that, they're their own person. They do what they want. You can still be there, of course. No one says that you have to just completely, cut them out of your life or whatever. But your legal obligation to them ends after 18. As soon as they're an adult, they are able to fend for themselves, which is what you should do. Unless you got a kid with special needs or whatever, or you all just have that mutual agreement. Everything is obviously circumstantial and situational, but for the most part, the baseline, the guideline, I guess, would be as soon as they turn 18, you don't have a legal obligation to them anymore.
Or any of their time or energy. And if their energy is going around and stealing your peace, stealing your joy, making you cry, making you break inside, that's a sign
You're constantly crying
from God
and breaking.
to let them go.
There you all go again, using God as your fucking reference. Piss off with this shit.
As hard as it is, you have to let them go. Because you shouldn't tolerate disrespect from your child. Ever. You are obligated to teach your child to respect you as a believer.
Yeah, you're also obligated to, earn that respect, which you haven't. Once again, just like my last stream, Shanny is not a mom. She is a woman who happened to give birth, but she's not a mom.
And if they don't want respect, well, then you can go. You can go explore the world and see how hard it is. Right now it's easy because you keep having people give you things because they're just trying to buy your favor and you're too fucking stupid to realize it.
Damn. So if people are giving you money, they're just trying to buy your favor. Is that why you all constantly try to get people to buy your favor whenever you all constantly beg for money? I mean, if you're gonna start calling, if you're gonna start being, calling the, if you're just gonna start being the kettle calling the pot black, I mean,
they're bribing you to believe stuff that isn't even true, if you even believe it.
See, that's right there is where I have an issue of he's being manipulated by the money that he's being given. They're financially turning him into what they want to turn him into. Like they're molding him with the money that they give him. It's so stupid.
Frankly, the way how you acted, it was all sneaky. It was all manipulative. It was just evil.
Sneaky and manipulative, which is exactly what you fucking do with everything. So learn from the best, I guess.
You coming to me saying your foster mom was being abusive to you, and she wasn't, and we had a conversation amongst each other, how you've been acting out in the house and tearing everyone up to the point where she wanted to kick you out. That's how disrespectful you've been. But you know what? You don't have much longer in that house. I guarantee you, the more you act this way with your cockiness, she will kick you out.
How much you want to bet that, like, she never actually had the conversation with the foster mom, that she's just throwing this shit out, and that the money that he's getting donated to him by all these people online, he's, like, paying for rent and shit now? Wouldn't that be such a turnaround twist?
Because she shouldn't have to deal with this shit either. She took you into her house to help me because she knows how sick I am.
That's grade A bullshit. I guarantee that she didn't know anything about your quote-unquote sickness. What they were probably told is, hey, here's this kid. Here are these two kids taken out of another home because the people that live there, one abused the younger one, and the mom refused to separate herself from him. So because he's still living there, we had to take him out. So just so we're clear, that's what I'm thinking anyway.
She took you into her house to raise you when I couldn't, and you disrespect her.
Sure.
Like you disrespect me, and I gave you life.
Once again, respect is earned.
You're so ungrateful to the people who have done everything for you. You know how many sleepless nights I've had because of you? How many sleepless nights? How many times I had to sacrifice for you? In so many different ways.
Okay, so once more, respect is earned, not given, first of all. Second of all, I don't think that you have struggled with sleeping at all. Given how easy it was for you all to drag his name through the mud, I don't really think, and throw out all these accusations and shit at him afterwards, I don't think that you have struggled to sleep at all. I think it's been easy peasy as far as sleeping goes.
And this is how you treat the people who coming in your life, who are there in your life, who helped you survive.
Uh-huh.
And this is the thanks you give us.
Yeah.
Well, you have a short time in that foster home.
Oh my God.
And the more you do this to us, the more you're going to be disowned, because you know what? People shouldn't tolerate disrespect. And they're not going to. And that's a lesson you're going to have to learn, even though you're brash and cocky.
Is this literally like the rest of this video? Is it just her fucking going on about him? I'm going to skip, like, where are we at? I'm going to skip a minute ahead.
Shame on you.
Yeah, that's all it is. Good Lord. Okay, I'm glad I'm done. Fuck. Alright, so shout outs to Graveyard Flowers for those videos. Good fucking God, dude. What have we learned? We've learned that Jason is cracked out of his mind and Shanny is still suffering with MPD. Narcissistic personality disorder. It's finest. All right. Well, I appreciate anyone and everyone who stopped by. Thank you for giving me your time of day, your time of night, whatever it happens to be. Of course, if you enjoyed everything, do be sure to like, comment, do all the YouTube stuff. If you feel like going above and beyond, check the description. Otherwise, you know, just being around, coming around, having a little bit of a time with me and leaving a comment or whatever, it's always magnifico. So that basically does it for this. Shanny, I got some advice for you.
You need to shut the fuck up.
You better fucking believe it.
All right. Well, thank you all so much again, and if I don't see you before next time, then I hope you all have a great Halloween. I might be back Friday-ish. We will see. Until then, thank you all. I will leave you with some good old tunes.
things that go bump in the night. Me, Sam B. Shrunken head, broken legs, body parts on the concrete. Cut 'em up, butcher style gators in the swamp. Red light, leave 'em dead, running like a track meet. Scared of nobody, what your motherfuckers want. Believe me when I tell 'em I'm a boogeyman beast. Leave 'em slashed from their head to their feet. Pin bricks to the chest of a bitch, well fed, cooking meat, cannibal trying to eat. I got a zombie army, and you can't harm me. Yeah, hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Drink blood like a vampire without warning. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Stand up. Sam B got the thing that go bump in the night. Whoa, hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Hide your kids, grab your wife, better get out of sight. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Let's go. Sam B to Papa Shango, I'm bearing some maybe. Handful of fingertips, toss them up like confetti. Stable of corpse bitches, I'm a pimp of the dead. Come fuck with a zombie, I put a stake in your head. Look, you want ghouls, I got fucking platoon. Maybe everybody dies, I'm see your ass real soon. Crack bones to the marrow, hot sauce and they suck it. Now my juju ain't nothing to fuck with. I got a zombie army, and you can't harm me. Yeah, hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Drink blood like a vampire without warning. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Stand up. Sam B got the thing that go bump in the night. Whoa, hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Hide your kids, grab your wife, better get out of sight. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch. Let's go. Cut your head off, you leave your motherfuckers dead. I got a zombie army, and you can't harm me. Hoodoo, you hoodoo, bitch.